Switch the scoreboard. It looks like we indeed have the way chosen for Naga. There's a possibility to get a Gosmere, but I think we'll have plenty of opportunities for a Gosmere later on in this tournament. Alright, so we got a Chickens Arabia. Naga has forage bushes off to the side, same thing with chickens. A couple back forests, gold slightly forward but off to the side. A pretty nice map for Naga. And then we got Charon. Also got some back forests, and the main gold is also back. Forage off to the side, but chickens forward. Also, I'd say a pretty good map for Charon. I don't know how aggressively Charon will go for the chickens or not. So, Naga has the is the favorite this match. Also got a nice enclosed lumber camp there. But maybe we'll see some man-at-arms action from Charon that can catch Naga off guard. I'm curious to see what Naga does with the way. Might be some cavalry of some sort, as that's what you expect from them. Yeah, I suppose there is a point I could do the 5 matches, so that way it's just 2 streams. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so Naga's going for the chickens. Milling them first. The second rhino coming in for Naga. And Charon going for the lumber camp. And no boar hunting or deer luring or any of that kind of chicken. I suppose chicken hunting could be possible. But yeah, Charon's not going to do any boar hunting because of it being an AOK only AI. Not able to use some of the more advanced features. So, Charon has some idle TC time, but Naga has some idle eco. I wasn't watching to see if that was due to garrisoning the TC for the boar or not. But yeah, economy, Naga's like slowly ahead fairly regularly. Yeah, myself, and maybe in some future rounds you'll get a opponent that's closer to the skill level. The first round is seeded matches, so it's usually good AIs versus weak AIs, just to encourage the facing opponents of an equal skill level later on. So Naga going for lumber camp on the forward forest this time. Charon's still on 1 lumber camp, putting down some farms, which is important since I don't have the boar food available. And 10 foragers, because AIs love forage bushes. Alright, barracks down for Naga, almost all the way to feudal age. Alright, Naga's up to feudal. Double bit axe coming in. Barracks almost complete. But it doesn't have... Okay, it has a wood for an archer range. archer range isn't the best building for the way, but that doesn't mean that archers aren't going to be a good choice. And in feudal age, they should be just fine.
Stone, please.
Night down. I'll take it.
Alright, Charon adding the second lumber camp and halfway up to feudal age. It's looking like an archer rush from Naga. I'm guessing those archers will come forward pretty soon. Maybe after fletching comes in. And Charon's just on the way up to feudal age. Reach it right now. Let's see, so we got some militia already trained, adding a spearman. That spearman will probably end up being a waste this time, but doesn't mean it's not a bad strategy. Taking a look at resources gathered, the Naga pulling ahead pretty quickly here. And same thing with villagers. Yeah, so it looks like Charon's going full spearman here. One militia explorer. Okay, and just went it to man-at-arms. So I do imagine that the infantry patch a few patches ago did benefit Charon a fair bit. Got that .96 movement speed. And we got a forward tower. Let's see what happens, how Naga responds to that. Looks like it's gonna go up. Naga's got seem to be 8 archers. And I'm not sure if Naga would try and send them all to attack the tower or if they'll avoid it. Let's see what happens. Alright, no tower avoidance. Just full, like, town defense mode. But we got some villagers coming to take it down. So maybe we'll kill a couple archers, but I think this tower will get knocked down pretty easily. Yep, down the tower goes. But we got a blacksmith coming up for Charon. And 5 man-at-arms, 4 spears versus 9 archers. And Naga's got farms around the mills as well as the TC. Market for Charon. Got a skirmisher, but no upgrades for it yet. And no blacksmith upgrades for the infantry either. I think Charon will probably need the +1 armor for it, the infantry if it's going to stand a chance against the archers. Got another forward tower placed here. So this one might end up being around the same as the previous tower, but maybe if it keeps Naga on the defensive, then they'll give Charon some time. But I don't know if Charon really wants more time for Naga to keep on building up military. this point, I'm thinking Naga's going to wait until Castle Age with some crossbows. About 2 minutes away from Castle Age at this point. We've got a market for Naga. Charon's definitely ahead on military. That's the biggest thing it has in its advantage, but it needs to use that military before Naga gets too far ahead on economy or technology. In terms of just raw population, Charon has more at this point. Alright, second archer range for Naga. It's kind of a bummer that the forge tower placement actually avoids placing towers like within range of each other. I wish that was different. But right now this tower is just sitting there, not doing anything because it avoids being in range of the enemy. So we got a TC going up for Naga. Do we have a third TC? Not yet. But a whole bunch of upgrades for the archers are coming in. Alright, there's third TC. It looks like Naga is actually avoiding the tower this time. Let's see, I think this is just the gather defense soldiers, yeah. Try and make sure the spirits goes up. Yeah, Charon's going to need to attack soon or else Naga's going to pull ahead. But we got Castle Age coming. I would say at this point the best time for Charon is to like, get long swords, get the +2 armor, and then attack. But so we got padded arch armor, but no scale mail yet. Alright, so I think TC wins against the tower. Got a third tower coming for Charon. So we got longsword and pike, and we got scale mail coming in. Yeah, so at this point, Charon almost has double the military population. So I'm not exactly sure what Charon is waiting for. Unless it's looking at like total population instead of just military. And sadly at this point I think Charon had the total population superiority at one point in feudal age, but it's lost it. I don't think it's gonna get it back. So, Naga losing a few crossbows to the tower, or at least a few like wandered into range. Another tower coming in for Charon again. Not +2 attack. So, not too much to talk about this game. We've got 5 units killed in the whole game. And just watching AI's boom. Ah, we got a Genbe reader. I think that's the first one of those I've seen trained before. And here's the attack we've been waiting for. So, looks like most of the crossbows are taken out. Let's see what happens if Charon can continue this push and cause some damage. $45 military is a lot. Alright, Hagon Cavalry. Alright, so Charon's down about 25 military. And the TCs are all still up. Naga almost all the way to Imperial Age. So we saw Charon take out most of Naga's military, but it wasn't enough. Yeah, I think if all of the military might have been able to like focus down a single town center, it could have caused some damage. But he might have only just taken down a single TC or maybe a second one, since the Goths had more damage against buildings. But I think Naga probably still would have recovered with its with the economy that had been built up. Villagers coming to knock down the towers, and we got a castle from Naga. Alright, we got a second wave of reinforcements, but we'll see how much damage this can do. Down the monk goes. Second castle coming up. Looks like Naga's doing a switch into cavalry, probably Hagon cavalry. This will probably do a little bit more damage against the towers. Okay, actually Tiger cavalry. Those will do even better against the towers. Alright. Tiger Cavalry got 1 kill. Leveling up there. 1 attack and 10 hit points. I think I'm gonna speed up the game here. Alright, gonna call the game here. See the stats. And APM. I think APM is 0 for AIs. It's kind of funny. And then switching over to DE stats. All right, now time for game 2. Charon stays as Goths. And Naga as Lithuanians or Vietnamese. And arena. And here we go. Get to hear the Vietnamese theme. I have opinions about it. Alright, so... Is that intentional, like Charon deletes his walls? I was not expecting that. So besides having an open position, looks like the Charon has some fairly forward gold and stone. The forage is a bit undefended, so it's just chickens that are safe, which Charon doesn't really use all that much. Meanwhile, Naga has some safe forage and gold, but chickens are forward. Little Goose exploring the back here. Alright, Naga milling the chickens. Boar coming in for Naga, second one. So I'm curious if Naga will change strategy with the walls and go for a bit more aggressive build. I'm guessing not. But I'm just kind of curious to see if Naga will attempt like a full boom and try to get to Imperial Age, or if he'll decide to go on some more aggression. I'm also curious to see if Charon also shifts the approach. My guess with the 50 villager limit, it doesn't really make that much sense to try to boom a bit harder on Arena. Probably makes sense to try and go for an aggressive approach and just like knock down the enemy with some man-at-arms and longswords. So in a way, I kind of wonder if we'll get a repeat of the Arabia match. Naga shooting down some chickens here. Let's see, has Naga figured it out yet? Not yet. Or no, it could have figured that out, that the walls are down. But it hasn't explored any of Charon's buildings yet. Charon needs the wood for a lumber camp, but it's already gotten all of its straggler trees. So it needs to stop building some farms so it can get that lumber camp down. Yeah, another farm. So this has caught us a lot in trouble for Charon, unfortunately. If it keeps on adding farms until just like for forever. Got a house going down. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Vietnamese would know the TC location. Though I'm pretty sure you can kind of guess where the location is, just from where the starting location is. Scanning isn't as important on Arena as it is in Arabia, unless you're trying to fight for the relics. And I suppose if you're trying to like scout a forward castle or something like that. Alright, finally got a lumber camp for Charon, though it's on the opposite side of where they're also already gathering. So I'm not sure if they'll actually retask and go to where the lumber camp is. They might wait until the trees actually drop down. I think we got an exploring villager here. I'm curious if Charon's looking for something specific. Or if this is just something that Charon does most of the time. So we got a market down for Naga. I'm not seeing a blacksmith. Maybe just waiting for the wood. I feel like I probably would have done blacksmith instead of wheelbarrow to get that up faster if you're going for a fast castle, but maybe Naga's not going for a fast castle. Alright, it's chicken's time for Charon. Barracks in the back. Yeah, we got some villagers bugging out here. That guy just like telling us like, hey, can you move out of the way? It's like oh, there we go. The one villager's trying to move, but yeah, still stuck on the gate. Oh, there we go. Hopefully whatever pathing fixes are coming up in the PUP will fix that. Alright, we got a forward tower from Charon. It'd be nice if that was like moved a little bit further to this way so it could like more so block the gate. We get another tower maybe like right here. That'd be pretty nice. So just eco upgrades and no military buildings from Naga. So it's looking like a full boom, which will probably pay off this game. Looks like that villager's going down. So we got no tower going up. At least not yet. There's the next villager being chased by a wolf. I feel like I'm trying to remember if gray wolves are one of the animals that's going to be modified in the next patch, with all the animals getting special abilities. Looks like even with Loom it wasn't enough to get the wolf taken down. Alright, just needs a stable and Charon will have all of the feudal buildings. Probably is not going to happen. Alright, let's see. This tower might go up finally. Unless this scout finds it. Yeah, I think that scout's not gonna see it before it goes up. But we got a castle for Naga. That probably means gonna be like a unique unit rush. Oh, the scout found the tower. So rats and archers and siege workshop maybe, like rat and archers and mangonel or something like that, or maybe a battering ram. Probably a battering ram to knock down the walls that don't exist. We got a barracks in the very far back and the barracks very far forward at the base. Third TC for Naga. No unique units yet for Naga. Doesn't seem to be going for Imperial Age, so maybe just waiting for some attacks or something to come in. Maybe just for defense. Let's see. So we got 4 relics on the map still. Oh, we got 5 still. But I think we'll be seeing Naga starting to pick up those relics with the monk. Maybe this one. Could be that one. Alright, here we go. Oh, I think Charon's just chasing some builders here. Teaming up to kill that wolf. I'm curious what those villagers were doing out there.
Stone, please.
Now this tower might go up. Alright, so we got... Finally got a rats and archer. We got a mangonel out. That relic is taken. That relic might take a while. I was just reading the chat there. Yes, we got some long swordsmen, but not a whole lot of them yet. I think Naga already has more military than Charon, So that's opposite of the last game. Outpost for Naga. We should be able to spot any towers that get built on the south side. Let's see if these long swords end up seeing... Yeah, so they see the outpost. Let's see if they attack it. But no, I think they're going to get converted again instead. Yeah, looks like those long swords are just going down. They got +1 armor against +2 attack. Not going to do that well. Let's see, is that monk gonna get the relic? Ah, not. Got a little bit closer. Wonder why the monk is going back home. Oh, is it trying to convert that? Nope. Scout went down. I'm curious if that's the starting scout for Charon. It looks like it's not. We got a stable for Charon. Charon's almost maxed out on villager population. Just a little bit ahead on military, but with Naga having more than double the villagers, that might not last long. The blacksmith upgrade still on +1/+1. And Imperial Age on the way for Naga. So I feel like we're just waiting for maybe the Imperial Age upgrades for Red and Archers, and then go forward with some Mangonels or Rams. One thing I'm planning to do for is like I was seeing the conversation about a mixture of maps and getting various numbers of points. My plan for finding the matches for the next rounds is like I'll match them against total points, but also prioritize like if there's a tie of like different AIs and different points, try to match AIs against like having similar points on Arabia versus similar number of points on Arena. So if like 2 AIs went 1-1 and 1 loss in the first round, and in the second round if they were to face each other, trying to get 2 AIs that both won in Arabia and 2 AIs that both lost in Arena. That's something I'm planning on doing. So hopefully we get some AIs that have similar strengths going against each other, rather than just like a lopsided Arabia and a lopsided Arena. Alright, so it's looking like Charon might be on the defensive this time. We'll see if his longswords can hold up. But they might not hold up too well against Reds and Archers, especially if... Let's see, so paper money, it's not going to help without the Red and Archers, but they already got Bracer researched. Just waiting on the elite upgrade. And lead upgrade is in. We got a trebuchet. Naga keeps on sending the military units back. I'm not sure why. Alright, second TC, I think. Yes, for Charon. Oh no, this is a Naga TC. That's pretty aggressive. We'll see if Charon knocks it down in time to immediately face the Radin archers. And actually, okay, there we go. I was for a second I thought that Charon was actually going to ignore that TC. Alright, here we go. Here's the one match off of the game. Or at least the one big fight of the game. Let's use the Capture Age feature here. So, Charon's losing hit points faster than Naga is, and the army's gone. That's too bad, but Naga was seated higher than Charon for a reason. I think we'll see a few matches that might be a bit closer matched. As I said before, the first round is going to have a few lopsided games. But thankfully we have no AIs that are going to be like eliminated just because of these lopsided games. Especially by rounds 4 and 5, we should get some pretty close games. And this TC is going to go up anyway, that's kind of surprising. Alright, let's speed up the game here. And I think I will go for one more set here to make it an even 5, an odd 5. Split up the streams in just like 5 games and 5 games. Alright, just a quick review of statistics.